Let's go.
Dr. Rosie Milligan, one of the most sought-after speakers on the circuit today. Her live internet talk show, Express Yourself, is the most provocative, thought-provoking, and talked-about radio show on the internet. There's no holds barred, and Dr. Milligan puts the B in bold. She brings it every Tuesday live at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Rosie has been proclaimed the most provocative female writer of the century. Her books include Satisfying the Black Man and Black Woman Sexually Made Simple, Why Black Men Choose White Women, and the book Nigga Please. These books have raised eyebrows across the country. She has authored 21 books and published 350 titles for authors nationwide. Check Dr. Rosie out at drrosie.com for her books, articles, and archives of her internet talk show. Sit at the feet of wisdom. Dr. Milligan is indeed a timekeeper and scorekeeper. She is the clock, calendar, and almanac for Black America. You need to hear her.
Good morning, top of the morning. You're listening to the Express Yourself Hour. I am your host, Dr. Rosie Milligan, coming to you live as always with nothing but straight talk. Yes, straight talk. That's how we do it around here. Nothing but straight talk. My co-host is the wonderful Miss Shawana Bordenay. We called her the Valley Girl. She's been out of town, traveling, selling real estate. She's been doing so much she forgot all about that she was my co-host. She was missing in action for 2 weeks. Well, at least she's back. Welcome back, Shawana. How are you?
I am back, and I never forget about you, Dr. Rosie. How could you forget about someone so brilliant, so elegant, so all together? Yes. We're talking about you, Dr. Rosie.
We miss you. We miss you. We miss you. Well, the people... I think my other co-host, Keith Swanson, is on. If not, they're trying to track him down. Keith, are you here?
Can you hear me?
Oh, I hear Keith. You guys, it's the invisible man. This is Keith. And guess what, you guys? It's going down. It's going down Saturday, August 30th on Zoom. Black Writers on Tour. Keith Face will be there. The first person who recognize who he is and let us know you got something coming. So you all better be looking for Keith on the 30th. Everybody been saying, well, I don't believe he exists. Where is Keith? He promised you guys, he promised that he's going to show up. So you guys better show up and look for him. And if you can find him, you got a little cash coming. Shawana, it's not for you. It's not for my co-host. She want to know, can she get in on it? Can you all believe she asked me that?
I believe her. Hey, that's
hey, you know.
Okay. She never misses an opportunity. So
I know. She never missed real estate. She never missed real estate.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I want some real estate. I want to buy some property. Yes.
I know that's right.
She should be giving seminars with the stuff that's going on right now with the real estate. This is going to be an issue this year with real estate and home prices and rental prices and stuff like that. And this is going to be a mess this year.
You know what? I'm kind of wondering how this Airbnb going to play out. I think we're busting into something. Everybody want to turn their house, their garage, everything. What make people think that people going to come into the city, come out in the neighborhood just to rent their place? People who are traveling, got that kind of money. I think they want to be in hotels. I know I would. In the climate today with all the crime, with all this stuff going on, I think people are making some mistakes, just like they did when the Olympics was coming here. Everybody start pushing their tenants out. We're going to rent our space. What you think? I think they...
Well, that's part of it. But the thing is, the biggest thing, and then this is something that the Wall Street Journal came out with I think, a couple of months ago, where the Wall Street is buying up, like, 1 out of every 7 houses is being bought up by Wall Street to get them off the market. So...
What are they buying them for?
It's
they're buying them for?
I mean, I'll say it. Hopefully that the powers that be don't get irritated, right? Okay. Most mortgages are on the bank's balance sheet, right? Most banks, especially large banks, are on the teetering between being in black and being in the red. So if the mortgages that they hold are an asset at a certain price, right? If people don't have jobs or there's a depression and the mortgage rates the price of the homes have to go down, okay, below a certain below a certain threshold, then the banks go into the red, and then that triggers a whole bunch of other stuff. So I think Wall Street is taking the supply off the market to keep the prices up, because that's been going on in New York for a while.
Wow.
They'd rather it be empty at a certain price than being rented out at a lower price.
Wow. Folks, pay attention to what is happening.
Yeah.
We always give you the update. We give you the juice. Then we come into our talk, what we're going to talk about today. But we just have to bring you up because people are going crazy, turning garages and everything else into talking about Airbnb.
Yeah,
so, it may be making some mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, today, I think we have a great topic. I think we have a great talk. The bottom line, you guys remember that song, You Talk Too Much. You remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, people talk too darn much. So we're going to talk about today 5 things you should not discuss with your potential lover. Say that again. 5 things you should not discuss with your potential lover. Information overload too soon can happen a potential good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Say that again. Information overload can soon happen a potential good relationship. Bottom line is, take it easy, take it slow, and there's certain things that your potential mate doesn't need to know. Wow, that kind of rhymed, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. When you say
take it easy, take it slow, because there's some information that your potential lover don't need to know.
Okay, when you say potential mate, is it serious? Is it casual, or is you just getting to know each other? When you say that,
you just getting to know each other, and you can will have known them for a while. There's still some things that that's something you take to the grave. Okay?
Yeah, when I say
you don't talk about,
it would say intimately. In other words, you could have worked with the person, known the person for like 20 years, but the thing is, there's a level when you're getting to know each other as far as intimately.
And there's certain things, even when you're intimate, certain things you don't need to share with. Something, Keith, you need to take to the grave. Okay?
Yeah, yes, that's true. That's true.
And people want to dump everything out on the first and second date, all about your mama was on Prozac. And and the first thing the person going to think was what they said, that fruit don't fall too far from the tree.
We call them red flags. Okay. You don't want to throw up the red flags too early.
No. At least if you have cemented this relationship, then the person find out some of this stuff that you may add on to. They've gotten to know you.
Okay.
And then they realize, well, your mama, you're not your mama. You're not like that. You're not your neighborhood. You're not. In other words, they just need to know you in the present day as to who you are. So
you give them the information on a need-to-know basis. In other words, if it comes up, or it's going to be an issue, then that's when you start divulging.
Right. And then
now,
sometimes
Keith, you know what you're not supposed to tell.
Oh, I know. Hey, I am not for full disclosure, right? Some things, it's a need to know basis. If you don't need to know it, you don't need to know it.
Well, even how intimate you get, I still say, I'm going to say it again. There's some things that happens to you, about you, through you. There's something you need to take to the grave.
Yeah.
Okay?
I used to tell my girlfriends the same thing. I don't need to know that.
You would tell them that, Keith?
I would tell them I don't need to know that. I said that's something. It's not important. It's not affecting our relationship. I don't need to know it. Keep it to yourself.
Oh, what did they say, Keith? Now this gets juicy. Now what did they say?
They give you that funny look, like really? Yeah, I said, really? I don't need to know.
I don't know why women tend to want to dump. Want to dump everything. Want to dump the whole load.
They want to dump what they want to dump on you. Okay, the stuff that they don't want to dump on you, you'll never know about.
Oh, that's how it goes.
Ooh, oh yes. That's a long story though.
Well, look, I'm going to tell you, let's start with one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want you women to call in. I want you men to call in and talk about the things that you don't want to discuss or don't think you need to discuss with the woman. And Keith's going to give us the man side, okay?
I don't know if you're ready for that.
All right, Keith.
Shawana going to chastise me if I start divulging too much.
No, we want to let it rip.
It's okay. It's okay. I want to hear it all. I know. You know what? I do know what to tell a man and what not to tell a man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You learn, you live, and you learn. Okay.
Yeah.
You live and you learn. You know what not to say.
Is there
I remember,
anything you can think of that you said that you wish you had not said in a relationship?
you know what? I just don't think you should tell everything about everything that has happened. Talk about your ex-boyfriend. And I met this man after I broke up with my ex. I remember, we were really good friends, and he decided to tell me that I talk too much. He said, "Shawana, you tell me too much stuff, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What we're going to do, we're going to play," he said, "we're going to play the check mark list. And if you think to yourself, should I tell him or should I not tell him in the beginning, ask yourself, is he going to give me a check mark? And if you think I'm going to give you a check mark, don't tell me."
Wow.
Men do give check marks, that's for sure.
Oh, those check marks. It was like check marks. No, you don't want to get too many check marks because, you were a diamond and then you just like checking it off.
Yeah. Okay. Red flag.
Yes. And that's what happens. They really think that it's red flags, even though you're telling them what you think are okay things to tell them.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll rather get to know you. They really rather get to know you for themselves than you trying to come out and paint a picture.
It's easy. Okay, some things go down easier after you get to know the person than it does before, right? Because some things are the red flags, and after you get to know the person and you get around them and said, okay, it's really not affecting the relationship. So even though it's a negative, it's really not that big a deal, right? Whereas before you've been through, say you had a crazy girlfriend and then something happened to her in her life, and you bring up, well, my mother did this to me and blah blah blah. I said, oh man, I just had 2-3 chicks would say the same thing. Guess what? This is what happened. So some things you need to leave out because you don't know where the check marks are in that guy's mind.
That's a good point. You don't know where the check marks are. Let me give the number out. The number is 310-928-7733. 310-928-7733. And if you're in your office and you don't want anybody to know what you're doing, just go and click on innerlightradio.com. Innerlight, INNER, innerlightradio.com. And you can join us or you can email us. We're talking about the 5 things you should not discuss with your potential lover.
Okay, what's number 1?
Number 1 is your past relationship.
Ooh, it is a biggie.
Stay away from that because you can make yourself look real foolish when you start telling about Jim, Jack, you're going to name about 5 people and how bad the relationship and how bad they did you. He's looking at you like saying, what kind of fool are you if all 5 of these men treated you the same way or the same repeated cycle? What's going on with you? If he going to look at it, something wrong with you, not them.
You know what I tell women, Dr. Rosie?
What?
And because I'm a guy and I've been around a whole bunch of guys, don't tell them about no more than 4. I don't care if you got 1,000. I don't care if you got 1,000, right? Pick your 4 best relationships. Those are the ones you tell them about. And don't start with the negative stuff, right? Because a guy wants to know, I'm getting in a relationship with a positive woman that has good relationships, and I'm going to be on that, I want to be an investor in that, right? If you tell about all the bad stuff the guys have done to you, give them like 4 guys, oh, she's trouble. He's going to be listening. Oh, man, that makes me number 5. Okay. I know women have the idea that guys want to climb the wall when they're in their shiny white night suit and slay the dragons for them. Not so much. Okay. So I say no more than 4. Try to be positive. Okay. If you have a whole bunch of relationships, pick the 4 most positive relationships. That's what you tell them. And make it. I would say women, for the women I was really invested in, their relationships were always positive, were always good, right? It was always I was happy and we did this, or that we didn't work out. But guess what? While we were together, we had a good time. That's what guys want to hear.
Well, ladies, I hope you listen to that. They don't want to hear all that trouble. They don't want you to dump on them about how bad the last person did you. Because it's like when you hear somebody talking, they telling you, there's two sides to the story.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do? What did you do to bring this about? That's just like, I guess people feel the same way when you start talking to someone and you say, I've been married 5 times, red flag, I'm out of here. I'm not going to be your 5th divorcee.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone asks you, have you been married? Then the door is open, yes. If they want to ask you about, what caused the ending or whatever, but let them ask questions and you still stay positive because there's 2 sides to it. Most divorces most of them are not just one-sided. Everybody have contributed something, and you can admit, I was very young at the time. There was things I didn't know. If I had known now, if I'd known then what I know now, we'd probably still be together. I think a person would rather hear that than every man you've been with. He was just low-down dog and all this kind of stuff, and they want to ask you, if men are all dogs, why don't you, stop going to the pound?
Unless you're a dog catcher, right? Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Unless you're a dog catcher, stop going to the pound. But women, the bottom line is you talk too much. You're telling too much. The men are telling us that. And it's time, and women men really tell us what they want, how they want it. But women don't listen.
You know what it is, Dr. Rosie, and this is something I've noticed over, the last 20 or so years of actually being involved in this kind of stuff, is that women tend to talk the way they would talk to their girlfriends, because that kind of trauma kind of stuff kind of endears themselves to the girlfriend because it's a shared experience, right? So they'll talk to the men the same way, think that they're going to get the same reaction out of the guy. Not so.
Wow. Well, you don't want to get all into that past relationship.
No.
You could be sinking yourself into a hole because the person can be looking at you. Well, I was with him 5 years. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why did you stay there 5 years if all this was going on?
Unless you
must have low self-esteem. You must be damaged good. Folks, you'd be surprised what goes in people's mind when you tell them all these sad stories. So don't do that. Don't discuss the past relationships like that.
Yeah. I agree.
The other thing is discussing your sexual partners.
Oh my goodness, here we go. Okay.
That's a no-no. Most men, they just don't know how to satisfy me. Red flag.
Red flag, yeah.
Red flag.
Either either he's going to run or he's going to take advantage of you. One of the two. But go ahead.
One of the two. And usually what women tell me is that when they start opening up and telling everything, and then later they say the man or a woman to say to them, well, at least I didn't do this. At least I didn't treat you as bad as he did. That's why you don't be sharing all that information. That information overload. So you should not be discussing anything about your sexual partner before. They don't want to hear that, because I think for a man or woman, then you're trying to figure out if you measure up, or do you need to do what that person did.
Really, that's what it is. Is it's to elevate her status. Okay, most men can't satisfy me, so if you're gonna do this, then you have to do all this extra. She's trying to elevate her status.
So, Keith,
you think men want to hear about most men? They don't want to hear about all the men that you've been with.
No. Well,
they'd rather think you're a virgin. Oh, men just love that. So, women. Let me tell y'all something.
Depends. I never particularly liked virgins, but it depends.
They love to think that they the first. Okay, and if you want them to think that there is something you can do, y'all have to call me. I'll tell you that. They will think they are the first one. Women, y'all got to learn the tricks to the trade, okay?
Yeah. What most men want to think is that the woman that he's with, especially if he's interested in, is that she thinks that he's special.
Okay.
They don't have to be the best. Don't have to be the first. Don't have to be whatever number that you're in. And I hear this from a lot of guys, right? Does she genuinely desire me? Does she think I'm special? Does she genuinely want me? Or is it I'm a series of check boxes? I'm just a placeholder. That's what they want to think, that I'm special, okay, to her.
What about, Keith, what happens, the dynamic of people going from a wounded, scarred relationship? I've heard women say, well, you know what? He had a very nasty divorce, and so did I.
Okay.
So we are going to be good for each other. I said, oh, Lord, there you go. Two wounded trying to get together to heal.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing you can do, is try to get together with somebody wounded and you wounded. We got something in common. Does something in common mean it makes a good relationship? There's hurt, there's pain, there's unforgiveness. There's so much going down in those type of relationships, and you want to hook up with this person? I don't think so.
Yeah,
No.
I've heard it. Yeah.
Wow, Keith, I think we have something on the board.
Okay, this is from Ingrid in Toronto.
Ingrid, yes.
Yeah. It said on the don't need to know list, intimate details of previous relationships, all the details of your finances. If you had a relationship with someone that is married. Okay, yeah. In other words, yeah, finances. Because those are red flags. Because even more than sex, money. Okay.
Okay.
If you're bad with bills, or you spend a lot, or you're in debt or something like that, those are really red flags. Although I think if you're going to get into a serious relationship, those should be disclosed. The last thing you want is gotchas.
Well, a man, I understand, is very impressed. One, if they come to your house, you have it laid out. You wearing St. John. You got everything, but they don't realize that.
I don't know about the house thing.
We peek into Shawana's house and
No.
Yeah, she got those St.
Because
John,
then they want to marry you. They think they're gonna get your stuff. You're not getting anything. I got to see your house first.
That is so funny. Yeah, you get up in there, you all impressed.
I got to get a glimpse of your house first.
Yeah, you don't realize the last man she was with paid for all that stuff, and you're going to have to finish them bills. Wow. It says finance, yeah, you have to pick the time you start talking about money, because some men say women ask them straight up, how much money you make? That's a red flag. Keith, how do men feel about that? Do they think you're coming on to them because you want something?
It depends on the guy, right? If the guy's leading with his wallet, then he expects that, right? Okay. But if a guy's not, most of the guys that really have a lot of money, that is a red flag to them. That is a red flag. They're really sensitive about that.
They're sensitive about what? Having money or not having money?
No. About disclosing money, or somebody asking how much do they make or how much do they have. Because what they're trying to do is find out, do you want them for them or you want them for what they have? Okay. Oh. So they're trying to put you in a category. And most guys that lead with their wallet are the guys that have a hustle, or guys that they're lacking something, right? But those guys that lead with their wallet, they're gonna tell you how much they make, or what kind of stuff they have, or what, because they're using that as bait. But most guys that don't talk about it, they don't want you to, unless they really get involved with you, they don't want you to ask them about how much they make or how much money they have. But there's different categories of guys. So.
I guess if you ask what kind of work you do, that kind of lead into how much money they making when you say so.
Right. If he's pulling up in a $1,000 suit and he's got a big Benz Mercedes, because he's leading with his wallet, he's leading with his finances. So then it's okay. What do you do, or how much money you make, because he's leading with that. But guys that are kind of low key, they don't want you to talk about it. Yeah. Because I know millionaires, man, for their first date is in a pickup truck, a 10-year-old pickup truck, because they want to see how she's going to react to him and not his money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, that makes sense.
Is that true, Shawana, or no?
No, well, no, I don't think so.
One lady told me, said she's.
But I did want to clarify something, Dr. Wade.
Okay.
I made my own money. I did not have a man pay for mine.
Yeah. Well, we know you're different, but
I made my own. But you know what? Because you make your own, you are conscious of the different guys that you choose to date.
Right.
I remember there was a gentleman that I had. Well, I don't know if I want to call him a gentleman, but there was a guy I met, and
a dude.
It was a guy I met, and he was like, he was really interested in me, and but I wasn't interested in him. But he wanted to help me with my website. His son is like really good at it, and I said, okay, well, I'm interested. And he went to my brother-in-law by accident, not knowing he was my brother-in-law, and he stated, "Oh my God, I met a board knave," and he was like, "You've never met a board knave. I know you don't know a board knave, but she is." And he started to tell him how much I was worth, and she's in real estate, and she lives blah blah blah, and he didn't know anything about me. He didn't know anything about me, but he wanted to, I guess, ask a couple of people, and
background
so
check.
he told him that I was his future wife and what he was going to now be worth to my brother-in-law. And my brother-in-law was like, "Wait a minute, you're describing my sister-in-law." And he said, "Are you talking about Shawana?"
His mouth dropped open. Huh?
Yes, and said, "This guy's talking about what he's going to be worth once he marries you."
Wow. Okay.
But, that's what happens to men. Men feel like, when they have money and they have things going on, that the woman is looking at them for what they can get from them,
That's
and,
a possibility.
so it goes both ways.
It does.
But usually a man that has money, I'll be very honest with you, a man that has money, he likes showing his success. He does. He likes to show his success.
Okay.
Sometimes you may have one or two of my friends, like one guy I know, he had a Honda Accord when I first met him, and he was a multi-millionaire. He had properties all over, and he was one of the main investors that would loan the money and everything, but he drove a Honda Accord. And to this day, I know he has a beautiful home in Beverly Hills, and
he got a second car.
He's driving a Prius.
Yeah, but he
that's what he drives, and he
has a second
goes
car
around
for
collecting
clients.
animals. Well, no, he doesn't. That's his
doesn't?
car.
Really? Okay. Oh, that's his car? Okay.
He does not have a second car.
Okay.
And he has all the money in the world. He doesn't, he drives around L.A. picking up stray dogs, fixing them, and giving them to people. But I think men that have money, that they have money. And a man that has money knows how to protect their money. They're not going to give it to a woman just because she's beautiful and just because she has a beautiful shape and all of these things. And
he has a budget.
He's just going to be with her, and that's what we have to remember as women.
He's got a budget for her. Yeah.
Yeah, he has a budget. Yeah, they all have a budget for you. So,
you're
only going to get so much.
Yeah.
You're not winning. But
I'm a working class guy. I always had budgets for my girlfriends.
Exactly. You know how much you want to give them.
I want how much want to get, how much going to spend on them. When they went over, hey, baby, we're over budget for this month, and see their mouth drop.
It's a good thing too. I think when you're dating someone that might have a lot of money, and you know that, I think a real treat to that person is sometimes when you're out that you offer to pick up the tab, even though they don't accept it. I've heard men say that just blew them away. They just the woman went up a higher notch in their eyes. She said, "Oh, you had. Let me get it this time. You always getting it." What about that, Keith? How do men feel about it?
Because it makes them. It humanizes you to them, right? In other words, they're genuine. It makes them feel genuine. You're not out to exploit me. You're out here to be a real friend. It's an exchange. And that's what friendship is. Even with mates, it's an exchange. What kind of exchange am I getting? Is it genuine, or this person just with me because I do things for them?
Right.
So women, I hope you guys, I hope you heard that. It's really important to show that you are willing to participate in the financial game, even though this person if you think have all the money in the world, because a lot of times people have a lot of money but not a liquid asset. Some of them are whining and dining you when, the DA is after them for child support. So you don't know what.
and it shows that even though the woman may not barely have any money, it shows that she's, even with what she has, she's generous.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that we should do that. I think that we should practice treating sometimes, because it's not always about what a person can give you. You guys should be giving to each other, and that's what the relationship is all about. It's not all about what I can get from that particular person. It's what we can give each other. We have to give each other things. It can't just be about a me.
Right.
And so we were talking about what we tell our potential guys.
The 5 things you should not discuss with your potential lover. We said you should.
What about
not
being a
get
cheater? What if you're a cheater and you don't want to?
That's something. That's something. That's something.
Don't ever tell that.
That is not something.
Ever take that to the grave.
There's a category for people that you can tell that to, but that's outside of the scope of this discussion. Okay. Because
if you cheated on, we broke up that I cheated on. Well, he cheated on me first, but then I showed him that what's fair for the gamble is fair for the goose. I heard women talk all that kind of stuff. You just close that door.
That's what you tell your girlfriends, not to your men.
Yes.
Women, do you hear that? Never tell a man that you cheated. Okay.
Yeah. And what about the man?
Even if he
the men don't care.
Oh, the men know. Women don't care. Women know they cheat. So women.
You said men know not to tell a woman.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course not. Yeah. Hey, baby, I cheated on every woman I've been with.
Wow.
And how's that gonna come across?
Also
especially before you get to know her.
Yeah. Well, then they go and tell her why they cheated. You know how they make it. Well, see, the only reason I cheated because
men don't do that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't qualify.
For a man, that makes him look weak. So a man's not going to say that because it makes him look like a victim. And men do not like to look like a victim in front of a potential mate.
Oh,
that's why they would do it. Yeah, that's what the women do that all the time because they think that's going to get them sympathy. Okay, from the guy. Yeah. Well,
but does it? Does it get them sympathy?
If the guy wants her, it doesn't matter. If the guy really wants her, it really doesn't matter. She should keep that out. But yeah.
Wow, I like what you said. Say that again. If a guy finds a woman that he really wants, there's something that doesn't matter. Let's talk about that something that doesn't matter. I think that's key. What other thing that doesn't matter whether your mate know about you or not? That's a good point. Let me get the number out again. It's 310-928-7733. 310-928-7733. Call us and tell us some of the things you did when you talk too much.
Probably go in trouble with my probably go in trouble with my guy friends. I'm probably already giving up too much.
All right, you're gonna get put out the street. You're gonna get put out the men's club like I get put out to church.
I said, Keith, you have to tell them that. Come on, man.
Come on, Keith, tell us what's going on.
Steve Harvey wrote a book telling it all.
No, he didn't tell it all. No, he didn't. No, he didn't tell it all.
He told the good stuff.
He told the good stuff. He told you.
The second part is coming out. Written by Mr. Keith. Keith is going to tell us all about it. Yes, I can't wait.
See, Steve Harvey tells you what you want to hear. I tell you what you need to hear.
All right. Ooh, okay. Go ahead. What we need to hear, Keith?
Give me a subject. What do you need to give me a topic?
Tell me, what is it that a man, don't care what you tell him, if he want you, he's going to turn blind eyes to it? Okay,
if a guy is really into you, really wants you, and you're that girl for him, he don't care what you did with the last chick, the last dude. He don't care. Oh, well, my ex cheated on me. I cheated on him. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't want to hear all that. Just get in the car, okay? I don't care. And he'll listen to it because he needs to listen to it, but he really doesn't care. If he's really into you, he's already made a determination. She got these red flags and that stuff. As long as it's not the deal breaker that's in his brain, then okay, the rest of that stuff doesn't matter.
What's the deal
There's certain.
breaker?
It depends. It depends. It depends on the guy. Okay.
For most men, the average man, what's the deal breaker?
The deal breaker
you
would
ask
be.
them for some money. That's a deal.
No.
breaker.
No. That's not a deal breaker. Okay. Say you stole money, right? Or I'll give you one deal breaker that if a woman did, she should take it to her grave, right? Blame a baby on a guy that wasn't his, right? That's one thing I would say across the board. Across the board. If you've done that, I don't care who the guy is, what he says, do not even mention that. Okay, you take that one to your grave. Okay.
Okay.
You take that one to your grave because that means you're deceptive and not trustworthy. One thing, as 90% of guys do not want to hear is that you're deceptive. Okay. I don't care if the guy's into you. The number one deal breaker is deceptiveness, right? A guy wants to think that you will at least be loyal to him. Okay. And a guy that doesn't mind you being deceptive, you can't trust him either. Okay.
Wow.
Guy wants to make sure being deceptive, admitting that you deceived the guy, your mate, your husband, your boyfriend, even your boyfriend from 8th grade, right? If he thinks that you're deceptive, that's a red flag to him. That's one thing you should not disclose. If you're that way, if you've done it in the past, do not disclose that because that is a check marker that he's going to be on his defense the whole time that you're with him. That's the number one thing, being deceptive. A deceptive male, women will kind of fudge that around. Well, he's not going to be deceptive to me. Guys do not play that, right? A deceptive female is an untrustworthy female. Number one. That's number one, if that makes sense.
Okay, it makes sense. Well, Keith, let me ask you this since we're on that subject.
Okay.
How do men relate to women who admit that they have been involved in a lesbian relationship?
Okay, 80% of guys, it says, okay, is that your preference? Okay, if that's your preference, because there's a lot of, especially upper class women that have gone to college, they've had a lesbian relationship. Most of them have, right? They've experimented and said, is that a big deal? Most guys really don't care because they watch lesbian porn anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Doesn't matter to them that you've been in a lesbian relationship.
Guys that care about that, Keith. There's a lot of guys that care about that, right?
Most guys.
Now, see, there we go, right there. Here, a woman trying to tell a man. Mm-hmm. See, y'all don't pay no attention to my lectures and relationship series. This is what I talk about. Women want to tell men what they think and how they feel. It was interesting. We had a relationship seminar, Keith, and we broke off into different groups. And we asked the men and the women the same question. When we came back together, there was a spokesperson for each group. The women were talking about how they felt about the topic. They were going on and on. The men didn't say anything. They just listened. Yeah. When it came time for the men to talk about their answer, their response, every time they started the women, now y'all don't think like that. I said, this is what I'm trying to get you to see. You can't tell a man how he thinks. And that's
but Keith is a man that may not care. Keith.
No,
but Keith may not care about that. There's some men that do care about that. I hear men say, oh my God, I could
20%. I would say 20%.
Be with a woman that's been with another woman.
That's about 20%. But 80% of guys, I could tell you, of all the guys that I've talked to, right, of all different classes, right, that's one thing that's never come up about this a deal breaker for them. Ever.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
Ever.
I don't think it's a deal breaker.
What things that they even care. Most guys will say, oh, okay. First thing we ask, is that your preference? Was it just a one-off, an experiment, or do you go back and forth? Are you bisexual? Okay, get that straight. But once you've got it straight, no, I'm heterosexual. It was an experiment. They don't really care. I think it's more. So of a big deal.
What if they like a woman and a man? Now what?
They like. Say that again.
If they like the woman and man, you're saying that. If the preference, what if their preference are both?
In other words, they'll say bisexual. In other words, they go both ways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a different story, because then it takes a different kind of guy to actually deal with that kind of woman. But most guys,
men don't want to compete with a woman, right?
no, the thing is that, okay, she's going to have girlfriends, right? Okay. And for most women, 90% of women, okay, that's her girlfriend. There's nothing going on, right? But if she's bisexual, then is she just a friend that she's going out with or having drinks with, or she's having sexual relations with that girl? Then that's a different story. Right. Then you have to have a different kind of relationship. We know there's a certain famous couple that's going through stuff right now that's done that kind of stuff, and it actually brings in a different element into the marriage or to the relationship. You stop, Shawana. I know you know. Shut up.
The key, that's why I said, for women who have been involved, who have crossed over that way and they get into a relationship, that's one of those things. Add that to your take to the grave list.
You can,
add
you can tell
that to your take to the grave list, because
what
a deal for a man that has everything that you want to be with. You guys are really grooving, but since you don't know anything, you don't know that may break the deal.
Okay.
Take it to the grave.
Well, it could be a guy that doesn't like that.
Right.
They're out there. There's not as many of them, but they are out there. I think it's far more important to a woman that a guy has done it than a guy that a woman has done it. I think it's far more important because the dynamic is different.
I think so too. I think the most heartbreaking thing that happened to a woman when she found out she's competing with another man. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah. I've seen women freak out over that. That he might have done it when he was 12 and never done it again. But the fact that he's done it's going to change what the way she looks at him. So most guys, most guys I talk to,
even because they have children, they have to think. So that's, like I said, folks, there's something you need to go right now and get a pen and write down the things that you need to take to the grave, and don't go away from that. There's some things you need to take to the grave.
Yeah.
Information.
Some things you do. Yeah. I think if you're a guy and you've done that, take that to your grave. Don't bring that up.
You guys hear that? Take that to your grave.
Take that to your grave. Yeah.
I think we have something on the board. Do we?
I said, it says, this is from Ingrid again. It said, one more, your current best friend was your boyfriend. Okay, I think something about guys. In other words, if you're a woman and your current best friend was your former lover, before a lover, yeah, that's a. Well, that you need to talk about if you're going to get involved with him and you're going to keep that guy as your best friend. You need to let him know. You don't want that coming up later on. You need to let him know that so he can make a decision. Don't take that to your grave.
Just realize the deal is broken, Ingrid.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. You better tell him, because you don't want that coming up. Somebody that getting to him from somebody else. Oh yeah, you didn't know that.
Gosh.
My
gosh. You better tell him.
So you're saying you need to tell the man?
Boy.
Yes, I think so. Definitely. I mean, if you're gonna have him hanging around, you got to tell him.
You got to tell him, because if I find out from somebody else and you come home.
What you gonna
do? Two things gonna happen. Now you're gonna have a knockdown, drag out fight, or basically you're gonna come home, my stuff is gonna be gone. I am not gonna be there. That is called deceptive.
But if she tells you, how do you feel after that?
Let him make the choice. If you're gonna have him around, if you're not gonna have him around,
I hear you, Keith, say let him make the choice. But let's come back. But if he tells you, say if that was you or the average man, what would you do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What I do? Yeah.
Would you stay in the relationship?
Then you can actually observe him. Okay. Then you have a discussion, right? How close is he to you? What happened? How did he break up? Okay. Are you guys still messing around? And he can say, you know what? If we're gonna be together, he can't be here.
Oh. Okay.
That's right.
Now you're telling me who I can keep company with.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
There's my ex, if we have a gathering, a birthday party for the kids and stuff like that, right? And I'm there, he's going to be there keeping an eye on me.
Why do people always think the person wants the ex? That's what I want to know.
They don't know, but the thing is, you don't know.
Well, because sometimes the ex wants you and may tell you, I want you, I want to be with you. And then, anything can happen. You never know.
You never know. Yeah. But
especially if you had a relationship with them already in the beginning.
Once me and the ex broke up, I'm there. I'm there at a specific time with the children. Me and her are never in the same place at one time. One time, my ex, I was taking the kids on to a family reunion, right, in Denver, and I was flying, right, and then I think my son had to drop out because he had to work, and my ex wanted to take that ticket. I said, "You got a man, you can't come with me out of state, and you got a man. Okay, you can't come with me. Don't work that way. Because if I was him, I'd be pissed. So I'm not going to do that. So you stay right.
Don't tell him she was coming.
Even worse.
Oh,
can't
if you
come
found
with me.
out later, yeah, that's
like, then you're gonna come in my face. Nope, that's not gonna happen. You stay your happy ass with him, okay? Or buy your own ticket and you fly out. But the thing is, my family reunion. These are my kids. It's not your family. You stay with him.
See, that's Keith, a good man you got. Y'all better look for him on Zoom. Better look for him at Black Writers on Tour.
I don't like ducking bullets.
It's going down. Go to blackwritersontour.com and register. It's free.
Yeah.
And also check out all the different free seminars and workshops. You get a chance to hear Dr. Claude Anderson award-winning interview, you guys.
Yeah.
Go to blackwritersontour.com. And check it out and look for Keith. Keith.
Yeah.
Keith,
the thing is, there.
I'll be going to be there? All right. So
I'm going to be there for you, my 89.
I'll say this about...
Are you 80?
I'm an 89. I'll say this about any relationship, male relationship that a woman has had that's actually going to impact her current relationship. You need to tell him about him. He's going to pop up. He's going to come from out of town. He's going to do whatever. You need to tell him, okay? Because he's going to actually impact your life. If he's going to be around, you're going to have lunch with him. He's a business partner, whatever it is. That if you've messed around with the guy and he's going to be a part of your life in some shape, form, or fashion, you need to tell him. So say your ex comes from out of town that you haven't seen in 20 years, okay? And they're going to come visit you or have lunch with you. You need to, my ex from 20 years ago is going to come out of town. He wants to have lunch. Is it okay?
Keith, I think you're giving some great information. That's really good. That deceptivism is really being deceptive is a hard thing for people to live down.
Men can take a whole bunch of stuff, but a deceptive woman is a number one relationship killer for men.
He'd rather you cheat on him than to be deceptive, right, Chris?
Yes. Yeah, you think I'm lying? No, a deceptive woman to a man is like kryptonite. You don't want her.
So anything you think that he may find out, you need to tell him first.
You need to tell him first.
Parents used to say, "Look, I don't want to hear from the neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
If something's going down, I want to hear from you first." They always would say that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the other things I think that you shouldn't discuss with your potential lover, you really should be careful about how much you divulge about your family. You really should, because if you get married into that relationship, sometimes people hold everything dearly of what you said about the family, or they give what they don't like them. Because you done told them how your daddy did you, how your mama did you, and now you develop a deeper relationship, and they have no respect. And they're going to show that when they're around your family, or they don't want to be around them. If all your family is on drugs, mixed up, backbiters, throat cutters, he don't want to be around them. But see, you have gotten over that, or you still involved with your family, but you want that person to be involved. They may not want to go to your family gathering. You don't need to tell them too much about your family, because they may feel, well, if they all that way, then the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. What do you think?
Yeah, that's true. And plus, if you're going to involve your family in your life, you're going to be around them quite a bit. Then you need to feed it to them slowly, because you want to let your family give their own impression, and not you, because all of a sudden you're going to develop bad feelings. So when that person comes around, they're gonna feel that. So how come this dude don't like me? I never met him in my life. Or why does your boyfriend or your fiance can't stand me? Well, I told him this, that, and the third. I said, but I never treated him that way. But it doesn't matter. You've already laid the groundwork for him not to like that particular person. And the dude might be a best friend, like me and my brother-in-law, right? Okay. They used to feed me all this kind of junk about him, right? And when I got to know him, me and him were like the best of friends.
Wow. That's why you need to be careful. Certain things you don't discuss about your family.
Right.
Especially if it's negative. He doesn't need to know.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to know.
If you got friends that can come around your family, okay, your girlfriends especially, if you're going to vent to a girlfriend, make sure it's one that doesn't know your ex or your current. Because that attitude is going to travel right along with you. And you're going to be stuck in the middle with that funny look on your face.
So it all goes back to talking too much.
Talking too
much. And that's one thing people do, too. If you run out of conversation, what do? It ought to be something that you have in common that you can talk about and stay away from these subjects. Yeah. This is a new person in your life. He doesn't need to know about your past relationships. He's trying to develop a relationship with you, or she is, and they're trying to get to know you. They're not trying to know your family.
When you get to the end of the list, I'll give you a sixth one that women should not do. Okay.
Okay.
Especially if they're serious about the guy.
Okay, let me do this fifth one then, and then you can give us that. The fifth one is really talk about your bills. Don't bring the bills, your debts up, because that person may think you're bringing it up because you want them to help you pay something. And you just gotten in a relationship, or you want to scare a man off, you start getting into his money before he have, I ain't going to say the other words.
I've heard that too.
Something else. No, you just need to be careful. They don't need to know about your bills. I got all these bills. I don't know how I'm going to pay my car note. Now, here you sitting there in this car in the woman's house, Keith, you just met her. And she's talking about, I don't know if I'm going to make rent this month or not. How do you feel as a man?
Oh, well, you know what it is? All of a sudden you look at the phone. I just got a text. My
red
home
flag.
needs help. Yeah, that's a screaming red flag.
Maybe she just testing to see if you're willing to help her.
If she is.
No, it's way too soon. No.
See if you're down
for user.
If you're down for the cause, yeah.
Or if a man
Wouldn't you consider that a user? Wouldn't you consider that a user?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Or if a man say to you, you know what, babe, I may have to hide my car over here because I haven't paid my car note. And some silly women would go, well, I'll pay it for you. Haven't known her but 3 weeks.
Well, then she's down for the cause. She's willing. There's willing participant. I have no problem with that. If you put it out there and he wants to go for it, and that's how you're going to maintain a relationship. But there's things that come along with that, right? Because now that person is paying for you.
Yeah, and next month it'll be the insurance due.
Yeah,
you should not offer to assist anybody in a relationship, in a new relationship. Money should not come up in the issue.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
That's true.
Money should not come up in an early relationship issue. I don't care who it's from, the man or the woman.
She's an adult. Right. The only time money should come up.
Definitely from the man, it shouldn't.
And the only time money should come up in a relationship is you're getting ready to get married. Okay. Then it's important. Then everything has to be disclosed then. But until then, I always say there's 3 levels, right? A relationship, right, which is the casual, which I call the jump off phase when I talk to my guys, right? The casual, that's all about sex. Girlfriend is all about relationship and emotions. And marriage is about finance, right? Your finances are not important on either side until you get married. Then
until you're about to get married.
About to get married.
You need to do a credit report.
Yep.
And if too many bills, you need to insist that they paid off before you say I do.
I learned that from you, Dr. Rosie.
Before you say I do.
Before you say I do. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's when money is important. That's when loans, debts, whatever it is that you got that's negative in your past, that's when it needs to come out.
Wow.
Until then, it's not important.
Right. Keith, read what's on the board, and you're going to give us number 6.
I said, this is from Tony D. Don't hold it against me if I don't want to go to your family reunions if I already know that your family is crazy.
That's funny. That's why I say, how did he know the family was crazy? Because somebody talked too much. Okay? Because the person who's doing the talking could be the crazy one. The other people in the family could be the same one. Because people who are crazy always think the craziness on the other side. So this person has done all this talk about her crazy family, and she could be the problem, or he could be the problem.
Yeah. You tend to want to believe that your potential mate, the person that you're dating, is telling you the truth, or the accurate truth, and it may not be that case. But
may not be the case. So Keith, what's number 6? You have number 6 for.
Okay, number 6, and this is one that if you're really interested in a long-term relationship with a guy, right? Okay. All women will have what my partner calls a FAY group, a female hierarchy group, right? Her 5 best friends, right? That's her hierarchy group, right? That's her clutch, right? And they influence her decisions, okay? So if you got a guy that may not fit with the ideal of your girlfriends, be careful what you tell them, right? Okay? Be careful what you tell them, because everything that you're gonna that they're gonna know about the guy's gonna be filtered through you. If you tell them about all the bad things, the negative things that he's doing to you, or whatever it is, they're gonna have an attitude because they want to defend you, right? So when you've actually had to introduce that guy to your group, guess what's gonna happen?
They are going to.
They're going to attack him, and then forever on, if you keep him, they're going to attack you for keeping him. Right? They're going to get on you. Why are you still with this guy? This dude's a loser. This dude's an abuser. He's emotionally unavailable. Blah 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 blah. They're going to keep at it. It's never going to stop. So you need to filter what you say to your group, to your female group, because
that makes sense.
Yeah. I know there's women that hide lovers because they don't want their female group to know about him.
You're right.
Wow. That's true.
And don't say anything negative about him either.
If you can help it.
They hold on to it.
They will hold on to it. And they will remind you that wasn't this the guy that blah, blah, blah to you? Well, girl, I'm past it.
Right.
Well,
I'm past that, but we're not. We're not past it.
We're not past it, yeah.
Well, you know what I tell people? When you have something like that you need to talk about, go and sit on the nearest bus stop.
Okay.
Whoever's sitting next to you, you can tell them all of your trouble. They don't know you. They don't know you.
That's a great idea.
I'm telling you, go sit on the bus stop when you got trouble, when you have the blues. Oh, we have a caller. Let's take a caller. Caller, go ahead. Give us your name.
My name is Tim. At first, I wasn't going to call, but when Keith said what he said, this reminded me of a true story that a friend of mine told me. I call it the Tale of Two Friends. And it was about 2 females. They must have been best friends for over 10 years. They come over each other's house anytime, whatever. So friend A gets a boyfriend, okay? Friend B obviously doesn't have one. So what happens is that one day, friend A told friend B, that you come by tomorrow. I'm spending some time with my man. Friend B said, forget this man. We've been friends long before you met him, and we're going to be friends afterwards. And then friend A took that to heart. Her relationship ended. Now, I thought that friend B was just going to get a boyfriend. Not only friend B gets a boyfriend, but friend B gets married. And just hear some key words. Friend A thought everything was going to be the way it was until one day friend B drops a bombshell and say, look, you are coming over too often. What was the moral of the story?
Okay, we'll put the moral.
Okay.
The moral of the story is that friend A should have never jeopardized her relationship for friend B.
True.
Because friend B was a friend of convenience. As soon as friend B got a man and got married, all of a sudden you can't come by now. But friend A was loyal to a fault.
Yes.
You know, she should have told her, look, can you come by tomorrow? And then if not, and friend B gets upset, that's on her.
That's true.
Wow.
That's true.
Wow.
And actually, I used that with a friend of mine. See, when I found out that he got married, we were still cool, but I noticed how he was treating his best friend. You know, then got an unlisted number and all these other types of things. So I backed off of him. And I still see him. You know, we still laugh and talk. You know, we still cool. But I decided from that point on, I don't want to be the person that now that they got somebody, they ain't got time. But when they didn't, you couldn't turn for hearing from them.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a moral of a story, too, even for guys. If you know your friend is dating, back off of him for a bit.
Mm-hmm. I think guys have that code. Yeah.
And the thing of it is that this way, that when he wants to see you, then it'll be on him instead of him saying, oh, man, you know, my wife comes first, this and that. But that's obvious. You know, just simply say that you're busy. See, I'm at the point where I don't need no explanation. If you're busy, you're busy. You get back with me when you're unbusy.
Okay. Well,
And that's the moral of the story. See, the problem is none of us communicate about these things, you know. So what happens is friendships get strained and sometimes destroyed because that same person that gets married and now they got problems and now they no longer married, they want to hang.
Yeah.
But you are beyond that now.
Yeah. Women see relationships a lot differently than men do. So it's women bond to each other a lot more than men do. Men see themselves as singular a lot more than women do. So
and women don't give up their friend. They don't give up their friend because they have a man in their life as quick as a man will.
No. The women will more likely include you in that circle than vice versa. Yeah.
And men tend to just want it to be you and them.
Yeah.
They're different in the men and women. Thanks, Tim. That's a good observation.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, you guys, we're getting ready to close off, but don't forget, Saturday, April 30th, Black Writers on Tour. You're going to get a chance to see Mr. Keith Swanson in person from 10 to 4 o'clock p.m. It is free. It's going down. Go to blackwritersontour.com and register.
It is funny. I probably need to do 10 things women need to hear. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, that we need to hear. I got about 100 things, but 10 things women need to hear.
Okay, well, put them down. We do a show.
Okay.
All right, you guys have a great one.
Thank you. Have a great day, guys.
All right.